What is going on, everybody? It is Jason and John here to talk about all things related to this podcast and MatTalk and Matlock. And we got a ghost in this episode, which is perfect for this time of year. John, how are you doing today? John is apparently...
I'm doing all right. I'm having some audio issues real quick.
While John is figuring out his life over there, I will chat with you guys. What's up, Daniel? How you doing? If you guys are watching us live, please join in the comments section. Let us know what is going on. We'd love to talk to you all. And I'll just get right into it. I've been watching a lot of television. I was a little disappointed because 911 promised me that we were going to space in this first episode. We did not go to space in the first episode. Apparently that's going to be in episode 2. But anyway, I am here for it. I thought it was going to be really stupid, but the way that they're going to space kind of makes sense. And it's not all of them that's going to space. So they save Elon Musk type at the beginning of episode 1, who in return wants to send one of them to space. So that way she can have that experience. So she takes somebody else with her. And I cannot wait to see kind of where this goes as far as, that storytelling plot point goes. I am sad that it's going to be episode 2 before we get to see it happen. And trust me, Jamie and I will be talking about a lot of this next week. And what is going on? You're going through all your horror movies, including Rob Zombie's. Currently on Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I didn't like Halloween 2, at least Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. There's parts of it that I like. I did not like the white horse or unicorn. I don't remember. I've only seen it once. I did like some of the family stuff. I kind of like the way it ended. Kind of wish we had gotten the third one because I did really like the first Rob Zombie Halloween movie. But you've been watching the Scream series, Daniel. I'd like to know what you think of it so far. I think you caught up by now. But what else have I been watching? Nashville. 911 Nashville is also pretty solid so far. Chris O'Donnell looks nothing like he did in Batman Forever. Of course not. He's gotten older. And I think that he's carrying the show pretty well. Leanne Rimes is also one of the regulars on that show. But, it's a nice little pairing with 911. I'm digging the 911 Nashville. John, what are you watching? I'll get into more of what I'm watching in a little bit.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I had some difficulties here. For some odd reason, my earphones wouldn't connect for some odd reason. I don't know why. But you can hear me clearly right now, correct?
Yes, you sound great.
Okay, well, I can't hear you, but that, I guess, I can hear you, but they're coming through my speakers. So, anyways, what have I been watching? Man, I'll be honest with you. I'm still muddling through season 7, the last season of Homicide: Life on the Street, as well as also making my way through season 3 of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. So those two things I've been kind of working on still, trying to get, those done. I've really been stuck on watching a lot of these YouTube videos of I don't know how it happened, but once you watch something, then they know the algorithm knows and keeps pumping things out. But I watched a thing on Gary, Indiana about what happened in Gary and how it could have been avoided and all this jazz. For those who don't know, Gary, Indiana is a pretty bad neighborhood. It's a pretty bad city. And so because I watched that, then I started getting flooded with all these other, the worst cities in the world to live and that. And so I kind of been really weirdly addicted to watching those to find out, why the country of Iran has 350,000 empty apartments because nobody can afford them, but they built them to try to accommodate people because Tehran is so big. And other cities how disgustingly filthy it is to live in some of these other towns and cities and countries and whatnot. So that's what I've been working on.
Awesome, man. Well, something we've never done before on this show that I thought we should do because it's fitting, and we've done this on 3 Geeks all the time, but not on MatTalk, and we're going to do it on MatTalk. Give me 1 second while I get this pulled up.
Okay, and while you do that, I'm gonna try to fix my speaker issue here.
Good.
I suppose we should start at the beginning.
All right, so we got season
Someone
2
at this
trailer
law
from
firm
Matlock,
covered up the truth.
Kathy Bates.
So I'm going to secretly expose the criminal. But things aren't always as black and white as they seem.
Who the hell are you, Madeline Matlock?
The truth is coming out. It's a lovely day. I know Julian took the document that showed that Welbrecht.
I cannot wait
They were fueling an epidemic.
to see where we pick it up after that.
Well, it is starting tonight.
Tomorrow.
When we send our research to the Times, you know your friendship is over, right?
And I hope whatever.
Tell me, Maddie Matlock, how do you feel about
Oh,
the
I did
theater?
not know it was
Oh,
tonight.
I love it. As long as I'm not in it and I don't have to watch it.
Well, you guys will get a
Why?
review from me
Julian told me that you
probably
were acting
tonight.
weird.
I'll try to watch it live.
You want us both to go to jail?
Is that where things are headed?
Not if I can help it.
It's a lovely day today.
She wants us to delay going public.
Just need to find more leverage.
And how are you going to do that?
I have a terrific plan. It's highly detailed, mastermind caliber.
You really are incredible at this.
That's like my grandson telling me I don't look a day over 50.
But if you got something that must
I am trying to
I
protect.
love Jason Ritter,
That
man. He
document
is a good
is my
actor.
only leverage.
You only need leverage
So
if
much
we're
like
on
his
opposite
father.
sides. Except
In the best way.
Olympia, please do the right thing.
I'm not implicating the father of my children.
You see what's happening here, don't you? Olympia's manipulating you.
I'll go public, and Senior will feed you and Julian to the wolves.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
Here we go.
Compiled a list of Madeline Kingston's federal offenses. What are you gonna do when you go to jail? You don't have the leverage you think you have. From now on, I'm in charge.
I have one more question. You didn't see this coming, did you now? It's a lovely day.
All right, tonight. Oh, that is a pleasant surprise. I am so happy about that. Not even gonna lie.
Didn't you hear me? I said it was happening tonight.
No, I know. I'm just reiterating it now that it's over. But I'm stoked. Does that mean Elsbeth is back tonight too? Oh,
Yes,
that'd be
well,
such a
it's
good
back as
pleasant
well.
surprise. Especially with Peacemaker just ended, and Only Murders in the Building, I think, ending this week. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's 10 episodes. I'm ready.
Well,
I'm ready.
nonetheless,
Please.
I'll probably end up watching Matlock on Paramount Plus. I won't be watching it tonight, probably, but yeah, I saw, because today I was watching NFL football on CBS, and they had ads for Elsbeth and for Matlock, so I knew that they were coming. So.
Well,
All
Mr. Stephen Colbert is in the premiere of Elsbeth, and I'm stoked.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. It is.
Is he
We
playing-
got some comments from Daniel, John.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of rough. Definitely not as good as Rob Zombie's other works. I don't know what you guys were talking about. I think that was when I was off air. Finished Scream 5, misplaced my copy of Scream 6, so hopefully I'll get it back soon. LOL. 5 was a pleasant surprise.
5 was really good. 6 is okay. I loved it, 6 when it first came out, but upon rewatching it, one of the issues I had my first time watching it is I guessed who the killers were like halfway through the movie, except for one. But there's a reason I couldn't guess that one. But it's still really good up until that last third act is where it kind of falls apart for me. But we'll talk more about it once you see it.
John, we know you
can
can't wait.
Sorry, John.
Okay. John, we know you can't wait to rewatch the Chamber of Horrors match from WCW Halloween Havoc 1991. Funny you mentioned that. Last weekend, MLW redid it. They had a Chamber of Horrors match, and it was the same ridiculously stupid, where they had an electric chair in the corner, and C.W. Anderson got electrocuted. I'll use air quotes there. And Mads Kruger continued to be the MLW heavyweight champion. And by the way, just so that I can continue to further antagonize MLW, why did you put that as your first match? It's a multi-man match, a Chamber of Horrors match for your world title, and you do it first out of the gates? Like, makes no sense. Unless you knew it was going to be poop, and you were like, we'll just throw it out there first and get it over with. And Daniel Snow says, I still need to watch season 1 of Matlock. So, all right. Hey, guys, just read yesterday they fired the actor who plays Billy. Curious how that will play out. Same here, Liz. Actually, Jason and I last night had a conversation about whether we were going to talk about that just yet.
We'll just say that as far as like the story goes, I'm sure he'll like go off somewhere, or he'll get promoted or transferred out, or he'll just may disappear. You may do a Chuck Cunningham.
Well, let me ask this: would you be against them recasting? Like, keep Billy the character, but recast him with another actor?
I mean, I'm always down for recasting. I was even down for recasting Princess Leia. So recasting a character who's only been around for a season wouldn't be like out of the norm. Because I don't think he wasn't a super important character to the show, in my opinion.
No. But we will comment about that later, Liz, once some more information comes out. I think it right now would be a knee-jerk reaction for us to make any comments or opinions known about that situation until everything is kind of revealed, if you will.
But Daniel, you watch all this older television. You need to catch up on Matlock. You need to make it a priority, man. Help us keep the ratings good, because it's a great show.
And speaking of which, we talked last night, and we discussed definitely doing more shorts that focused on the new episodes in the new series than when we do the old ones, which I think that's something that we're going to try out here in the near future, because I think that would help to keep the connection there between the old and the new. Do you like how I did that? That took a lot of talent and skill and practice.
It did, man.
Hey, go ahead.
I've decided. Jamie watches Grey's Anatomy, which I've seen up to a certain point. I've seen episodes here and there with my daughter, and so I've decided this year I'm going to watch Grey's Anatomy, because I need another Thursday show to watch, because 2 Law and Orders plus 2 911s isn't enough for me. I need more. So I'm going to watch Grey's Anatomy as well. And I'm kind of excited. I've heard good things about the latest seasons of Grey's Anatomy. I heard they kind of got their groove back, storytelling wise. They got that creative spark back a little bit. So I'm stoked. But listen, guys, if you're not watching the show Doc, you need to watch Doc. It is so good. They just added Felicity Huffman, and she is fantastic. It's about a doctor who gets amnesia, doesn't remember 8 years of her life, comes back, and then this is the story post the amnesia, and it's really, really good.
Wait a minute. Felicity Huffman's on the show? She got a reprieve from her shady business dealings?
Yeah, she's been back. I'm surprised Lori Loughlin hasn't been able to make that same kind of comeback. But, Felicity Huffman's been popping into stuff.
Okay.
Since.
Was unaware of that. So You've heard us mention it real quick that we were hanging out last night, and Jason, you had a little Halloween party at your place. And can I ask? I don't remember you doing one like last year or the year before. Is this the first time? But you said it was like your third or fourth time doing it, right?
This is the first time I've invited people, because it's technically my uncle's Halloween party. And then this year, he's like, invite people, because usually I have the podcast. So the podcast is always my priority. And I'm like, all right, so I'm just going to do the podcast and then go back out when I'm done. But this year I'm like, you know what? We can put up an interview, because Justin and I have some in the bank right now. Put up an interview. We'll get together and have some fun. And it was a good time. I'm glad next year is going to be better, even bigger and better. I'm going to bring karaoke to the party next year.
Karaoke? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You are pretty darn good at that karaoke.
You know what, John? I texted Max today. I'm going to tell you the exact text I sent Max, because it is true. So I was watching YouTube like I do, and a lot of hip-hop shows up on my YouTube like it does, because that's what I listen to. And a clip from Vanilla Ice performing Ice Ice Baby popped up. So I texted Max, and I wrote, when you see a clip of Vanilla Ice performing Ice Ice Baby this year, and you realize you do it better than he does.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, no, I'm better at that song now than he is. He sucks, man. He was awful. So,
well, okay. And I shared with you that, obviously, I think I shared it on the show too, that, I remember a disastrous Miss Jackson by Outkast, which, in all honesty, I had a drink or two. And that's why I was brave enough that I'm going to do it better than Outcast. No, no. Miss Jackson goes quite quickly, and when you've had a drink or two, it's hard to keep up. So, yeah. But I don't know what else would be my go-to. Maybe Mr. Roboto by Styx. That would be my go-to. That would be my secondary. Because I'm not even claiming Miss Jackson as my first. It was a flipping disaster. So,
I've got a whole list of songs I do at karaoke.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to next year when there's karaoke, and maybe I won't be so lame and just throw together a last-minute costume. Maybe I'll actually put on. What were you last night, by the way? I have to ask because I didn't catch the reference.
I was whatever my uncle gave me to wear, because initially he gave me a crown and like a cape type thing so I could be king, but that got confiscated by my friend Kyle's children. So then he brought out like a bandana with like a wig attached to it, and I just wore that. I was just me with hair. That's my costume.
Okay. All right. I just threw together. For those that want to know, I threw on my PVD cast t-shirt. I put on a set of actual headphones, and I was a podcaster. I had a microphone too. So, which
John's taking people's phones and having them subscribe to his show, and also forcing them to write reviews for him at gunpoint. It was very awkward, but he got like 8 reviews last night.
You know, the craziest thing, can we, I'm going to talk about this. I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings, but the craziest part was finding out that Scott's wife is the sister to a wrestler that I know that I just started working with in May. That was to me like, what? You're so-and-so's sister? That's crazy. You know, and really it shouldn't bother me, or it didn't bother me, but it shouldn't surprise me because I've been doing this so long. I've been in the indies for 20 some odd years, man. So, you know, I've run into lots of people who know, you know, different people. In fact, I mean, in my career, I've been on shows and worked with lots of people that are now in the WWE or AEW, you know, but I thought that was kind of cool. That was neat to meet or to know that Race's, I'm going to say his name, Race's sister is Scott's wife. That was kind of the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, if you will.
Well, before we jump into the episode, I've got one more thing to ask you. I can't believe I haven't asked you yet. Did you get to meet Sergeant Slaughter in Monroe? I
did. I got to meet Sergeant Slaughter, as well as the franchise Shane Douglas and Rhino as well, the Man Beast, as his nickname is. And, well, actually, that footage is going to come real soon. In a couple of weeks, we got episode 500 of the PVD cast, which blows my mind that it's been 500 episodes. But I'm going to use that as the 500th episode because Sergeant Slaughter, not only a wrestling hero of mine, but a toy hero of mine too, because, you know, synonymous with G.I. Joe. Did you like that?
Did he do the panel?
Yeah, he did the panel.
Oh, right, dude. I just know that was something you were looking forward to. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, so that will be coming in a couple weeks, episode 500. 500. Whew. Can't believe it. Unbelievable. All right. Well, you know what? We've prattled on, and I think all the gremlins are done over here on my side of things. Again, I apologize that technology was working against me, but I think Jason covered my rear end, hopefully, while I was getting things back on track. Not hopefully. I know you did. Anyways.
Yeah, I got a lot to say. It's fine. I got a twisted tea in me. I'm good to go. I'm ready to talk.
All right. Well, with that, then, are you ready, Jason, to get on into it? This week's episode of Matlock?
I am, John.
All right, then let's get into our opening statement. The episode's name is The Ghost, and its original air date is January 14th, 1993. And we have literally only 2 guest stars. All of the individuals listed in the cast did not have a lot of credentials. As a matter of fact, and I don't know who it was that I looked at, there was somebody that had this many jobs to the resume. That's right, 6, and that was it. So, oh, hello. Hi, lady. My cat has joined us on the podcast. I wondered where you were. Anyways.
There is no small roles, John.
Well, I guess not, man. But I just was shocked by that because I guess I'm used to they have 40 or 50 or 100 episodes of a show or stuff like that. But this guest list was a little bit short. So let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Let's talk about our first one, Robin Christopher. She will be playing the role of Janice Wilson. You may know her as Sky Chandler on General Hospital and All My Children, and those two roles are about 700 episodes because I think she was 500 and some for General Hospital, and then All My Children, she had about 200 there. So even though she may not have much more after that on her resume, that's a lot of episodes, is it not, Jason?
It is, and she also played Sky Chandler on one episode of One Life to Live.
That's true. She also played Neela on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and she played Lorna Devon for about 200 episodes on the show Another World.
Yeah, and she's another one of our guest stars that I am in love with.
Oh my goodness, really?
Oh man.
I'm looking for my cat. This has been quite the episode. Technical issues. Now we're gonna have feline interference here. Hey,
John has ADD, folks.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I just want to make sure somebody's behaving herself. That's all. Anyways, so
pants and fire, but it's okay.
What? I'm not lying. I don't have ADHD. That wasn't a thing in my era, in my day and age. I'm just kidding. It was. I probably would be diagnosed with ADHD if by today's standards, I probably would have been. Speaking of ADHD, Lady is very ADHD right now. She doesn't know where she wants to go. So I would show you Lady, but she hates to be picked up. If I pick her up, she will go bonkers. I would show you Lady, but anyways. All right. Well, let's talk about our other guest star. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Frank Luz, L-U-Z is his last name. He's going to be playing the role of Mike Wilson. You may know him as Julian in the movie When Harry Met Sally. You may know him as Don Antonio in Don Juan DeMarco, another movie that I'm not so familiar with. He was Malcolm Carter on Kate and Alley, Professor Katz on Facts of Life, Steve Lanham on Ryan's Hope, and what was a TV movie that I really can't believe was a TV movie. He was Christine's dad in the TV movie, The Pornographer. I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess it is. But he also played a role on a previous episode of Matlock. He played the role of Richard Maitland on The Big Payoff, which is season 6, episode 15. And it was one of your favorites, Jason, because it's the episode that features Michelle Thomas and Max Sugarman, man.
Nice.
But that's all that I have for our guest stars at this time.
Well, first off, he was in Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, which is a favorite of mine, which is a show that was rebooted and brought back, but apparently only in Germany, and we can't get the episodes here in America. Please make that happen. And are you
talking about Frank?
What's that?
Are you talking about Frank?
Yeah.
Okay, I just was double checking.
Yeah, and then also we have Michael H. Moss, who played Keith Garrick, and I just chose him because he had a picture. So I figured he's been in. Yeah, he was just in something a year ago. He's been on Beverly Hills 90210, also in an episode of Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. Great show. He was also in the House, the LL Cool J sitcom that ran after the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was also AI Dukow in an earlier episode of Matlock. And then he was in the classic RoboCop 3 and Passenger 57.
Yes. You stretched that, really. I didn't think he had that many credentials. But anyways, yeah. Well, his name was H. Michael Ross?
Michael H. Moss.
Close enough.
Jeez. I'm sorry, folks. If you guys would like to send your hate mail to benmattalk@gmail.com.
That's all right. Don't worry. There's going to be lots of hate mail. I have a feeling when we're done with this episode. Anyways, or you can also find us on Facebook. Just look for @MatTalk Podcast. All right, let's get on into it, man, because Jason, it's time for me to ask you the question that I have to ask all the time, and that is, are you ready to give an opinion? Your opinion, and solely your opinion, so help you?
I do.
And it's time to testify. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the plot of this episode called The Ghost. Ben takes on a client that's a ghost looking to prove his wife is innocent. I'd like to repeat that real quick for you folks at home who are probably going, wait, what did John just say? I know it's a bad night for John. He's distracted by his cat. He's had technological problems. Clearly, he misread the plot. No. Ben takes on a client that's a ghost looking to prove his wife is innocent. Let that sink in for a moment, folks.
And then John also found out today that I'm going to haunt him when I pass, if I go first.
In which I said, that's fine. Just make sure that you don't interfere with, anything that would be embarrassing, anything like me going to the bathroom or whatnot. And your response was, I'm dead, not a pervert. Well, good. I'm glad that I could do whatever I wanted to do privately without you interfering as a ghost. I'm also glad you didn't want to make pottery with me.
Well, I mean, if you ask nicely, maybe.
All right, we go to our opening scene, which it's a thunderstorm, and there's two guys talking about selling a racehorse. And Mike, after that conversation, I should say, Mike Wilson goes to the mailbox and he pulls out a letter. And he looks at it, and I was like, aren't we going to see what the letter has to say? Because the letter is written in very small font, Oh, we will. We'll find out about it here in just about a minute. So Mike goes looking for Janice, who is his wife. And they make small talk about dinner, but you could clearly see that Mike is angry. Mike is very upset. And so basically he confronts his wife again with this letter saying, hey, are you cheating on me? And they argue. They're like, look, I was at the movies with so-and-so. And then Mike was like, yeah, but you've cheated before. And this is another letter. And so basically, I jotted down that the neighbor is kind of being very nosy as she's doing stuff on her porch. But Janice continues to argue with Mike, and she ends up pushing Mike down, and he hits his head. But then all of a sudden, he comes to, and a shovel comes racing at his face, and he's killed with a shovel. Okay, let's start this off, first of all. I have lots of questions about the relationship between Janice and Mike. If you are constantly thinking that your wife is cheating on you, and you're going to believe random anonymous letters that she is cheating on you, I think there's a problem with your relationship. I'm sorry. I don't want to be that guy, but there's something up. You need to go to therapy or get a divorce.
Well, jealousy in general is not something that I think is healthy in a relationship for anybody. And if your partner is jealous, maybe you need to rethink some things, but that's just me. I'm not a therapist. You should find a therapist and talk to them. But she should have left. Like the first anonymous letter, it's like, no, this isn't going to work. Obviously, you're leaving somebody that you don't even know. There's no evidence, no facts. I'm out. Peace.
At least the second time. I might give her the first time. Like, oh, okay, I'll stick around. But that second time, I'd be like, listen, Mike, out. I'm out. See ya. I can't deal with this.
No anonymous letters. I'm believing you. I mean, yeah, I'm gone if you're believing an anonymous letter over me without evidence.
Could you imagine if this took place in modern day times with what would be said on social media? I mean, oh my. Mike would have a tough time in 2025 because he'd believe every stupid thing that was on the internet. But I digress. Ben is in the men's room, and Mike shows up, and they're talking, and Ben's like, look, you can meet me at my office. No, I need to tell you right now about a court case. And so 2 lawyers enter, and then the camera switches so that we see Ben talking to himself. Ben is at his house in the very next scene, and Mike appears. And Ben is confused how Mike got in because, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Matlock. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Someone locks their doors in Atlanta. I'm excited. I feel redeemed. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Finally, somebody has doors locked, but Mike doesn't need to unlock doors because he's a mystical, magical ghost. So, are you as excited as I am that somebody finally locks their doors?
I didn't even pay attention to that. The thing that surprised me the most is it's taken him so long to figure out kind of what's going on.
You mean that he thinks that he's a ghost?
No, he doesn't think he's a ghost. Matlock has no idea.
Right. That's why I was confused by that statement. What do you mean by what is going on? Okay. I get what you mean. Well, Mike wants Ben to contact a lawyer named Scott Ainsley to see how the case is progressing. And then Mike says, I love my wife. Dude, literally like 2 minutes ago, you were reading her the riot act because you believed in an anonymous letter that she was getting down with some other dude.
Well, 2 minutes to us. I mean, it's probably been weeks because from my recollection, he's already in the ground if they're on trial for his murder.
That's true. You're right. But you get my point, though. You love your wife, but yet you believe these silly allegations. I don't know. Anyways, well, Ben does chat with Scott Ainsley, and Ben claims that Mike sent him. And Scott's like, wait, what? Yeah, well, Mike Wilson sent me. That's impossible. He's dead. And Ben's very confused and said, no. I just talked to him the other day. And so, again, Scott's like, it's impossible, sir. You did not see that he's dead. He's been dead. The court case is going on right now. So Ben then chats with Mike again. And Mike is of the opinion that somebody killed him, not his wife, right? And so Ben tries to get him arrested. But again, Ben is the only one that could see Mike, all right? He had some cop, and he was like, hey, Henry, help me, come here. And Henry doesn't pay any attention to Ben. And so...
Crazy old man.
And so Ben demonstrates the fact that, Mike demonstrates to Ben that he is truly a ghost because he steps out in front of a 18-wheeler who goes past, and there's no Mike, but then Mike reappears on the other side of the truck.
Real quick, Ron, we have a couple comments. One of them is from a new viewer, so I want to make sure I get this out there. Autumn, welcome to the show. One of your favorite episodes. I'm really glad to hear that because you'll find out my opinion at the very, very end. But I will give you a hint. We're not too far off. And then Elizabeth says, well, this is his third house set, so now he's learned to lock his doors. Are you saying the other 2 houses were stolen?
No, the other 2 houses didn't have locks. That's the thing. Instead of Pillman's having a gun, it's Orlando's got a gun. Oh, okay.
That's right. He's trying to get those subs.
WCW did the same thing in 91 because it would have taken so long to set it up for the main event. Dallas recasted Miss Ellie, and we all know how well that worked out. That's true. That is true. Miss Ellie was recast. In fact, I forget who the actress, because it was a well-known actress too. Daniel, who replaced her? Because I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody that had a name value, if you will. And Autumn, by the way, thank you very much for chiming in. I know that you have been with the MatTalk Facebook group, and you've been chiming in throughout the last several weeks and months. And we do appreciate you checking out the show, and thank you very much. Sorry that you're checking out such a fractured show tonight with all of the craziness that's going on, but what the heck? We roll with the punches here in MatTalk, right, Jason?
We do.
All right, so we're going to go back to where the truck almost hits Mike, or does hit Mike. I guess we use that term loosely. And Ben runs away. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. So if Ben doesn't look crazy enough as it is, here's just an elderly man running up the stairs of the courthouse demanding that someone stay away from him. All right. Will this all lead, by the way, to Ben entering an old folks' home? Is my question that I wrote down here.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's looking that way. Well, Ben is walking down a hallway, and Mike is there. And again, this is the hallway in the courthouse. Then again, Ben tries to give him the slip by going into the elevator. But he's also in the elevator, too, because you can't outrun a ghost. Ben and Mike talk about the case. And Mike's like, look, the last thing I know is a shovel hit me, and that's it. I was dead. So I just wrote this down. Is this supposedly, and I don't know when the movie Ghost starring Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore came out. I want to say it was in the early 90s, right?
I believe so. Let me double check that.
Okay, I'm thinking that this is their version of Ghost.
I mean, kind of. It came out in 1990, July 13th.
Okay. Well, then that leads me to ask, is Ben and Julie going to do the clay-making scene like that we all know from the movie Ghost?
Sadly, Julie is no longer on the show.
That's true. That's true. Maybe you can have Eileen from last episode. Come on, the one that left Ben after he split his pants.
Maybe. We got more comments coming in, John.
All right, well, let's hit those comments. Let's hear them. Let's get them up here, Justin. Let's see what we got. Ghost came out in 1990. Ducks 79 or 78, excuse me, says 1990. All right.
What's up, Duck? Thank you for tuning in for your first time. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Yes, Donna Reed from It's a Wonderful Life lasted one season, though she's famous for being by Bobby's side during his death. Okay, I knew it was somebody that had clout. I just couldn't remember who it was. I almost wanted to say Priscilla Barnes, but that is not correct. So thank you for clarifying, Daniel.
Yeah, no, Priscilla Barnes was Three's Company.
Yeah. But any other comments that we have, Justin? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, Ben agrees to take the case. Good luck getting that $100,000 from a ghost, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Ben and Mike show up at the farm, and Janice and Ben chat. And Mike is kind of like feeding lines to Ben so Ben doesn't look like he's so disoriented and everything. So Scott is not the best lawyer. Is apparently what the big problem is with Scott Ansley, is that he's okay. He's not very good. And so Ben ends up asking about the argument that they had on the day of the murder. And then all of a sudden Keith shows up. And Keith, man, he ain't waiting. He ain't waiting no time. I mean, I'm sure it's only been a few months, but he's ready. He's in there, man, doing what he needs to do to make himself the next Mr. Wilson, if you will, so to speak. That's right. He is hobnobbing it up, and there's a little something going on between Janice and Keith.
Yeah, Keith wants to be in there, man.
He does, definitely. So Mike and Ben, they argue because basically Keith wants, Mike wants Ben to punch Keith in the mouth. And Ben's like, no, I'm not doing that. No. And so Keith is hustled. Ben hustles himself out the door. I apologize for that. So yeah, Keith was a victim of Mike wanting Ben to punch him, and then Ben hustles himself right out the door. Then we get Sleepy Ben. And Mike arrives rudely and believes Keith is the killer. I guess we have a comment here from Ducks78. Come on up here, Ducks. Unpopular opinion. I prefer Priscilla over Suzanne. Ooh, wow.
I love the hot take. I like them both personally.
Yeah.
I love the hot takes.
I agree with that. That's wow, man. That rivals some of mine. All right, Ben tries to read a book after he chews out Mike and tells him, get out of my bedroom. He tries to read, and every page of the book says, help me, Ben. And not help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Help me, Ben Matlock. You're my only hope.
Justin just gave us a boo, a big boo. But Mike doesn't let up. All right, he doesn't let up at all because Ben turns on the TV and on every channel is Mike saying, "Hey, I need you to help me with this case." So he won't let up, and so finally, he ends up letting Ben go to bed and taking care of and behaving and going to take care of telling the truth. And if he does those two things, then Ben will do what he asks and take the case and look up a clue, which is that he kept the letters. Mike kept the letters and they're in the office. So of course, when you need somebody to snoop around, who do you call? Conrad McMasters. Conrad McMasters is undercover at the farm. He wants to meet Keith. And I like how the guy Stewart was like, sucking up to the boss is never a bad idea.
Stewart.
Stewart. Limo arrives, and a bunch of goons are there to meet Keith. And basically, they're like, hey, man, you got some debts. You can get rid of those debts if you fix a horse race for us. And Conrad is eavesdropping, and he almost gets caught. One of the goons almost catches him, but a horse like sneezes or coughs or something, and that distracts him, and then they leave. So basically, there's 24 hours is on the clock to accept the answer of either you're going to fix this horse race or you're not. So we go to a scene at Ben's home where Conrad reveals what he saw with the goons and tells about, Keith has got 24 hours to decide what he's going to do. So Mike now wants to go like right now. He's at Ben's house. He's like, let's go confront these guys. And Ben's like, hold on. I got to eat. Always thinking with your stomach, Ben. Always thinking with your stomach. What can I say? So
not a bad way to go, man. I also am ready to eat.
Are you eating hot dogs?
I'm actually, dude, I have so many hot dogs to cook out yesterday that I didn't make because I thought I needed more than I did. But
okay.
It's fine.
You throw them in the freezer, dude. They'll last for a year or so.
John, I will eat them all. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I will throw some in the freezer.
Okay. Maybe we can have hot dogs and watch Matlock.
We should.
Okay. I'll bring the mustard. Anyways, Ben reveals the whole story about Mike to Leanne and Conrad, and they are like, "Huh? What?" In fact, Leanne's a little bit concerned about her father. So, but Ben's like, "Look, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go take care of some stuff." So we go back to the farm where Ben and Mike talk a little bit about Leanne and Conrad and how they're obviously thinking that there's something wrong with him. All right. Ben talks to Stewart and he's like, hey, Janice left some stuff for me. Can I go get it in the house? And Stewart's like, yeah, sure, man. I don't care. Because as we know, no one locks doors anyways in Atlanta. So, even though I know this is suburban Atlanta, I know.
Safest place in America. Still.
I'll wait until one of those videos shows up in the algorithm on YouTube, and I'll let you know. So basically, he goes in the house. Ben goes in the house with Mike. They go to the study, and guess what? The letters are gone. So it leads. Did Keith have something to do with it? Did Scott have something to do with it? And so Ben basically decides he's going to go to Scott's office and see if they're there. Ben is caught red-handed as Keith and Scott walk in on him. And Ben's like, oh, snap, I'm here because of these ledgers. And then Mike starts feeding him more information, which is basically the theory that Scott and Keith are embezzling from the farm to pay gambling debts. And their alibi is, look, we were the night of the murder, we were with a loan shark, so it wasn't us. All right. Yes, we sent the letters. Yes, we were trying to drive a wedge between them and distract them from finding out about our chicanery, but we couldn't have killed him. We were with the loan shark. So Mike wants Ben to convince Janice to take him as a lawyer. And so Janice follows up and exposes the story that Ben told them, which Ben said originally he worked for like an uncle for Mike in Savannah, did some legal work. And she went ahead and found out, nah, that's not true, right? So Ben pitches his services like, look, I feel like you're innocent, and I feel like it would be a travesty of justice if indeed you went to jail. So that's why I want to take on this case. Notice he doesn't mention anything about, $100,000. And so finally Janice agrees.
Yeah, of course he's going to. He's not going to tell her about the ghost after what happened before when he tried to tell people about the ghost.
Yeah, exactly. Should just keep mum's the word on the ghost. But I will say this. Ben mutters, "I'm going to kill you," at Mike. And I wrote down, we needed more death puns. That's what we needed. For this episode, we needed more death puns.
Well, I was just waiting for the moment where he was going to tell her. And then because the one person he could tell would be her, because Mike could tell him something that only Mike would know. And then she'd be like, oh my God, he's really here. That's fantastic. And we didn't get that.
You know what else we could have gotten? A seance. We could have gotten a seance. And then Leanne and Conrad would believe because they were part of the seance, the Ouija board and all that jazz. And there you go.
No, don't mess with the Ouija boards. Children out there.
Dude, I don't either. I never touched
I have never seen. I've touched one once, and that's because I stayed in an Airbnb that had one in the wall. Don't ask. And we had to get rid of it. We had to make it a thing so it was no longer bothering us. It was in the wall in an Airbnb.
Did you rip it out of the wall?
No, we opened the wall. Like there was like a door into the wall. And then there was just it wasn't like the whole Ouija board. It was just that little piece that's on top, the one that's supposed to move. And yeah, we took care of it. We got rid of it.
Interesting.
And we do got a comment from Ducks that just popped up. Go ahead and throw it up, Justin, because it fits what we're talking about now. I wanted to be out of there too, but my friend assured me that we had taken care of it, that it was no longer a problem. So I believed her.
Okay. All right. Man, look, I've never touched that. I that's the one thing that I think's got some voodoo to it that I'm not touching. Even when I was like in middle school, I would say I would not be messing with it either. But I wouldn't tear it out of the wall because you'd have to touch it then, and there you go. So, anyways, enough about destroying public property, if you will. Or
did I mention that the basement also had an Evil Dead dungeon down there? Anyway, go ahead, John.
What?
Go ahead. Yeah, me and Jamie, we went down to the basement.
No.
It was literally stone and cobwebs in this basement. It was the scariest basement I've ever been in my entire life. It looked like it had been dug up.
Okay. All right. That's not where I thought that was going. So, okay.
I thought it was going to be like the Book of the Dead was going to be down there. Jamie ran up as soon as she got down. Like, she wasn't messing with it. I'm like, I guess I'm going to be that guy, the white guy in the horror movies that's going to let everybody else know there's a horror movie. I'm going to explore.
All right. Well, here we go. Mike warns Ben here as we get back to the episode. Mike warns Ben that Stuart is watching because Ben is talking to Mike. And this is the thing that made me mad. Why didn't you do that at the beginning, Mike? Why couldn't you go, hey, I know we're in this men's room and this is the first time you've seen me and I'm a ghost, but these two guys think you're nuts because you're talking to nothing. Like, what a jerk ghost. What a complete jerk. Hashtag ghost. That's our new hashtag.
Annoying. Yeah, annoying ghost.
Well, it turns out Stuart's not wearing his riding boots, and that's a big to-do. And so we go to the courtroom where Stuart is called to the stand. And Stuart talks about how his stepfather, whom he loved very, very much, killed himself. And it was he killed himself because there was a racehorse that he had purchased, and it had died a couple weeks after buying it, and that wrecked his finances. And so stepdad was convinced that Mike knew this, that Mike Wilson was the man behind this whole chicanery, and he wanted to get revenge. Stuart wanted to get revenge on Mike. So my question is, though, wouldn't you think, like, as Mike Wilson, wouldn't you go, I'm going to hire this Stewart guy, even though I sold his stepdad in battle. Huh? What? Ridiculous. So Stu's boots are actually his stepdad's. And the reason why we know that is because the boots were stained with horse liniment. I put down that Mike has managed to behave himself in court. Stewart lawyers up. The case is dismissed. And Mike disappears as he says goodbye to Ben. And my question is this. I'm just going to throw it out there. Where is Mike going in the afterlife? Is he going to heaven, to hell, purgatory? Where's he going, Jason?
I mean, if he got to do all of this, I'm going to assume he's going up.
I'm going to stick him in purgatory for a little while, I think, before he goes up, because he's a dick. I mean, let's just be honest. You know, he could have helped Ben out way at the beginning of the episode so that Ben doesn't look like a crazy old man that escaped from an old folks' home. But no, he doesn't have to do. He doesn't do that. Yeah, I think he has a little bit of retribution he's got to pay for. So, the special effects budget, by the way, took up 17% of the special effects when we had Mike fade away. I'm sure that, you know, was a big time feat for the editing staff. And then Leanne and Ben talk about the case in the hallway, and Leanne tries to file it away as being under stress and, you know, whatnot, dad not eating right and all that jazz, but Ben's not hearing any of it. And that, my friends, is the end of the episode called The Ghost. Jason, do you have anything that you want to talk about?
I'll get into it in our final statements.
Then let's get to our closing statement.
This is the part of the podcast where John and I were ready to show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means, we weren't really big fans. 5 gavels means we absolutely loved it. Negative 75 gavels means I'm throwing John in purgatory and he's going to spend the rest of his life there. I would give this episode, I'd give it a 4.5. I really liked this episode. I thought it was fun. I don't think we've had a Halloween episode, so that might also be clouding my judgment a little bit because it just happened, like it seriously just happened to fall for us in Halloween. Where's Daniel Roebuck? Why isn't he on the show anymore? I do have questions, but nothing that's going to take away from this episode.
So what was the rating you gave it again? How many gavels?
4.5.
4.5. Okay. Hey, we have some comments. Let's get to those comments before I give my 2 cents worth. All right, Justin, we can bring those up. Okay. Negative 37 gavels. Liz gets in a time machine and rewrites the series from the pilot, so this episode never has to happen.
Listen, Liz, you're wrong. I love you. Guys, go check out darkseayarn.com to get all of your yarn needs. That is our good friend Liz, but you're wrong. This episode was fantastic. I love this episode.
Okay, let's bring up Daniel Snow. I prefer Cindy, but that's probably because Jenny Lee Harrison would later play Jamie Ewing Barnes on Dallas. Okay. Jenna Lee is underrated, says Duck78. I was a younger widow. His last words hit right. I wanted her happy with me. Now I just want her to be happy.
That's a really nice sentiment. And I was more of a Janet guy on Three's Company. That's why the other one, was fine. Like it didn't matter. I love Janet.
All right. And any other comments there, Justin? Yeah, no more? Okay. All right. Well, Liz, thank you for your input because I agree with you. This episode is garbage.
And I can get rid of John, guys, while we just sit here and talk about how amazing this episode was. It was great.
I knew you were going to do that. But anyway, Liz, you're right. This is ridiculous. I will go back in time with you and help you rewrite this episode because it is terrible. 1 gavel. That's what I gave it. I haven't given 1 gavel in years on this podcast, but this is hot trash. That's what it is. The terrible plot. The acting was meh. The comedy was stupid. The only thing I liked was that indeed Conrad and Leanne got some screen time because I'll be honest with you, at the beginning, about 10 minutes into this episode, I'm going, there's not going to be any Conrad. There's not going to be any Leanne because we have to deal with this stupid ghost. Ridiculous.
I love the ghost. I love the ghost. And if you guys want more of John's wrong opinions, you guys can go check him out. Where, John?
PVDcast.com. But listen, we can agree to disagree. I don't know why you find it why do you find it that it deserves a 4.5?
I had fun watching it. I did.
I
did. I thought it was fun.
Oh,
What? It's
was
so much
tedious.
fun. I've dug this season for the most part so far. Some better than others. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because my expectations going into 7 were so low because I've heard so many stories about this shift. But I don't know. I had fun watching this episode. Is it ridiculous? Yes. But was it ridiculous in a fun way? Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's hear our last comment from Daniel here real quick. If we can pop that up, Justin. Should have had a Patrick Swayze cameo at the that would have made it so much better. Absolutely. If we had Patrick Swayze or Don Swayze, since he was already on the show.
That's my person right there. Ducks liked it. Like the other one from Frank Lewis too. That's right, Ducks. You've got good taste. And you know what else you can find me, Ducks, since you have impeccable taste? You can find me at 3geekspodcast.com, anywhere that you download your podcast. You guys can also just find us on YouTube, 3 Geeks Podcast. We got some interviews coming up. We're releasing shorts daily. I'm going to be releasing a MatTalk Kathy Bates review every week on 3 Geeks and on MatTalk, probably on PVD Cast and all the other places that you find us. But come say hi. I love talking on my social media. I post Hallmark reviews. The Way Home is a great show on Hallmark, everybody. I forgot to mention it earlier. It's got time travel in it. It's my favorite Hallmark thing ever.
Hey, by the way, where can folks find us if they have questions about MatTalk?
Oh, you guys can find us or email us. Just email us. Tell us how wrong John was. Just send a sentence. Just say wrong with a period or exclamation point. It is benmattalk@gmail.com. Or if you want to diagnose John with ADHD, you guys can also email us, please. Send him a script.
Or you can also find us. You can also find us on Facebook at MatTalk Podcast. As for yours truly here, we got on the PVD Cast. It is NHL season, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The season kicked off last Tuesday, and I sit down with my hockey guru himself, Luke Landry, all the way from Montreal, Canada, to talk about what we think is going to happen this season in the NHL, what teams might make it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, what teams might lift the cup. And, and also we talk about the trades, the contracts that have gone on, all kinds of stuff. So again, the NHL 2025 preview is available over at pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts.
And guys, we sincerely thank you all for tuning in today. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, copy the link, share it, follow it. It helps. And you guys have been an amazing audience. What?
Hey, I got a comment on Daniel's real quick. Daniel, go Anaheim Ducks. I think Anaheim is going to be a lot better this year. Are they making the playoffs? I don't think so, but they're going to be a lot better this year. So, all right, with that, as they say in court,
nothing further.